everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. And it's been an interesting start to the AFL season. We've seen some teams that we thought might perform, not perform. Some teams come out of the woodworks and really start to dominate. But let's recap the round 4 action as we saw some great games, saw some poor games, and plenty of stuff that would happen. Obviously, starting off with Thursday night action, we'll go into that. Local footy started back as well. We'll go through the Supercoach and we'll go through some of the tips as well. So, without further ado, let's get into the Thursday night action between my beloved Magpies and the Carlton Football Club. And shout out to Connor Murphy if he's watching this. I hate it when I use plastic water bowls, so I've actually put it in my Muscle City shaker bottle. So, as you can see there, I'll put it in that. So that's just for you, Connor. But starting off with Thursday night. Oh, sorry. Before we get into it as well, for anyone that is listening to it for the first time this season, we're going with a new type of layout with the game. So not only are we going to quickly not dive massively into the games, it is a solo podcast, but we're going to put them on a tier list and rank each team's performance from that week. So the rankings we got, if it's your first time listening, we got excellent, self-explanatory, contenders, and this is all based on the round that you played, so round 4 that has just happened. When we got decent, you're disappointing, or 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach, where it's pretty much you had a shocking performance and you need to be be punished for that performance. Without further ado, let's go over to the Thursday night footy between Collingwood and Carlton. And Carlton are still 0-4, so there's going to be big questions happening down at the Blues. I'm sure it was very quiet on Lygon Street, but it was Collingwood getting the job done. 8-15, an inaccurate Collingwood, 8-15-63, defeating Carlton 6-10-46 for 17 points. Lockie Schultz and DeGoey kicked 2, DeGoey on return. Hewitt kicked 2. And Hollands kicked 2 off the halfback for Carlton. For disposals-wise, Josh Dacos led the way for the Pies with 31. Pennebury had 29 to go along with 7 tackles and 7 score involvements. And Nick Dacos had 27 to go along with 6 clearances. Shaking off the first half tag in a very slow first half. I believe he only had 10 disposals in the first half, going at about 25% efficiency. So he came back and had a really good second half. Was really impactful. Got that first clearance at the start of that third quarter. When I saw that, and I'm sure other people saw that, they were like, oh, no, he's on this half. So he was really good in the second half. Walsh had 31 to go with 10 tackles. I'll speak on Walsh in a second. Akers had 30. Hewitt had 29, 2 goals, 7 clearances and 6 tackles. And Doherty had 27 to go on with 671 metres gained. So we mentioned Carlton go 0-4, but Dan Houston's bump. Now, it's been confirmed he only had 2 weeks, took his eyes off the ball, I believe. He says what to protect himself, but he's gone with the elbow. Now, Dan, I know I'm a Collingwood supporter, but whenever you go up and leave the ground, you know you're always in trouble. But the fact that he's put the elbow out too and collected Lockie Fogarty on the collarbone, I think it should have been a minimum 3 weeks. No more than that, because the fact of the matter is it's a outcome business now. We know this from the other... Excuse me, guys. I've still got a bit of a cold. I woke up with a bit Sunday prior to my commentary, so I do apologise for that. But yeah, as soon as you leave the ground, you know you're in trouble. But we know it's more of the way that the tribunal making their decisions now on the outcome. And Lockie Fogarty was able to carry out the game, was not concussed. So 2 weeks was given, but I thought it was a minimum 3 just for the outcome of the bump. So anytime a player should know now, and every time you leave the ground and choose to bump and you collect a player high, you're always going to be in trouble. We mentioned Nick Dacos shakes off a poor first half. Carlton were in front at halftime, but only kicked 2 goals in the second half. What is going on with Carlton in their second halves? They're coming out firing in the first half and then just going missing in the second half. Like Collingwood in the end, it was lucky Carlton only lost by 17 points. It should have been more like 40 points. Collingwood 8 goals, 15, kicking 8 goals, 15. That's another thing to touch on. Collingwood's goal kicking is really poor lately. I think they're about 17th for set shot accuracy. So they need to fix that real quickly. That's something that they can't. They had it a bit last year as well. But it's just something they can't afford because it can kick them out of games. And you don't want to lose a game because of inaccuracy. But I don't know what Carl's go is here. Do they make a statement and drop some key players, some older players, and bring in the young players like former guest and friends of the show, Jackson Binns, has been dominating VFL for a couple of years now. Maybe give him a go, someone with a bit of run. I'm sure there's plenty of other players down there that you can possibly have a look at. I think... what's his name? Halfback. And Jordan Boyd. I think Jordan Boyd should be playing there because at least he's probably the better user down the halfback. They're lacking someone who can use the ball a bit better into defence and someone who, and he likes to take it and go, but uses it really well. So I think Jordan Boyd should be in that best 22. Is it in place for someone like a Nick Haynes, I think. And what else did we have for this game? Darcy Cameron. What an unreal performance by Darcy Cameron beating the informed TDK. Cameron had 33 hit-outs to go along with his 22 disposals, 9 clearances, 6 marks, and 5 tackles. Well, TDK wasn't terrible at all. He had 31 hit-outs, 19 disposals, and 6 clearances. But I just thought Darcy Cameron... I think Darcy Cameron's a very... Let me try that one again. I think Darcy Cameron's a very underrated ruckman in the competition. He's been going at it for about 2 years now. As we mentioned, just beat the informed ruckman, TDK, and had 33 disposals, 33 hit-outs, 22 disposals to go along with 8 clearances and 6 marks and 5 tackles. I think what makes Darcy Cameron so pivotal, so crucial to the Collingwood side and as a ruckman is he can push forward and impact the scoreboard. He's a really good mark, but he can also push behind the ball and be someone who puts himself back in the hole to intercept mark. And I think that's so crucial to be as a ruckman, someone who can put themselves in the hole in the last line of defence, but also someone who can go forward and hit the scoreboard. He's proven that on numerous occasions. I think there's been games where he's kicked... No, I definitely know there's been games where he's kicked 4 goals playing as a predominant forward. So it's just... I think Darcy Cameron's possibly an underrated ruckman in the competition. I'm going to say it. I think Darcy Cameron's the top 5 ruck in the competition. Let me know what you think about that. Lockie, I think he was... Darcy Cameron, was very stiff not to get the Richard Pratt medal for the best on ground, but Lockie Schultz was the one who won it, and he was really good with his 2 goals, 18 disposals, 7 marks, 7 tackles, and 9 score involved. So well done to Lockie Schultz. Got a lot of strife last year with the way he started last year after coming across on that big contract, but I think he's really starting to pay back the faith. The way he started this season has been phenomenal. But the only problem with that is, as we look at here, there's been 2 pies who have gone down with injury, and the Richmond Pratt medals, Lockie Schultz is one of them. As I read the notification, I got 10 minutes ago. So Lockie Schultz will be sidelined for Friday night's match. The scans revealed this forward has sustained a minor hamstring strain. He's expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks on the sideline. So that's something, a setback that, although it's only minor, Lockie Schultz wouldn't have wanted because he started such good form. He would want to keep that going. And Jordan to go again. It's moral of the story the last 3 years, I'd say, with DeGoey. Comes back and then just injures himself again. He was subbed off in the final term of the side. I thought it was just precautionary because it didn't look like he was bothering much, but it's turned out he's recovering from a right ankle and Achilles inflammation. They said they're hoping it's only going to be a week, but with the body that DeGoey has, I'm not sure. It could possibly go out for longer. So that's that one. But other than that, I've dragged on with that game a bit long. Now let's have a look at my rankings. Now, Collingwood, I'm not going to put him... I'm just going to put him in decent because I don't think it was an amazing performance, especially that 8 goals, 15 kicking. And Carlton, until you decide to turn up for 2 halves, you're staying in 5 a.m. at St Kilda Beach. Now let's move to Friday night, Geelong v Melbourne. And it was at GMHBA Stadium, and it was Geelong getting the job done, but 12-13, 85 to Melbourne, 6-10-46 by 39 points. Dangerfield kicked 3, looked absolutely phenomenal, playing a bit of midfield, a bit of forward, but he's looking so damaging at the age of 35. Still looking damaging. Stengel and Bowes kicked 2 each as well for the Cats. As for the Demons, Petrarca kicked 2. Zach Guthrie was massive for the Cats off halfback with 30 disposals, 17 marks, 7 intercepts, 8 rebound 50s, and 8 score involvements. Bailey Smith picked up where he started this season with 28 disposals, 5 clearances, 8 tackles, and 569 metres gained. Myers, or Messi as some may call him, 26 disposals at 81% efficiency and 10 marks. And Ollie Dempsey's last year's Rising Star medalist, 26 disposals, 5 clearances, 8 marks, and 8 score involvement. Leading disposal getter for the Demons was Oliver with 30 and 9 clearances, while May battled hard with 27 and 85% efficiency, 10 marks, 11 intercepts, and 8 rebound 50s and 625 metres gained. Now, I mentioned Paddy Dangerfield, but this is going to be a threat going into it. Paddy Dangerfield looks ready to go. They used Chris Scott used him to the best of his ability last year when resting him in the key moments, but he's looking so explosive because they're back in their midfield now with adding Bailey Smith in there and the the coming on the scene last year of Max Holmes. They're backing Patrick Dangerfield to play a bit more forward and then just go in the midfield when they really need to. Just have a listen to this. He had 20 disposals and 3 goals too, and he was still bursting from stoppages, but his breakaway speed is just why he's such a good threat up forward, and he's such a good mark overhead. So he's going to be a threat this season in the forward line for other teams. Mentioned Zach Guthrie was dominant off halfback. Jack Henry was also controlling the back line too, went down with a hamstring injury, 10 marks, 10 disposals, 6 marks, and 5 intercepts. But same old story with Melbourne. Where to go from here? Is it time they shape up this midfield? Because the midfield that they're looking at the moment, Prochaka, Oliver, and Viney and Gord, just to put it frankly, it's just not getting it done. It's really just not getting it done. Do they possibly look at putting a Windsor in there? I think they need to go back to giving Rivers more time in there. Because Pickett came back and he spent a bit more time in there, which was good for his speed. But I think Rivers is the one he needs to spend a bit more time in there. Have a look at Caleb Windsor in there. I love they need to start playing these younger players like they do. I love that they're playing Harvey Langford. I think they need to consist with him because these older ones are just not working. Petrarca probably needs to stay more forward because they haven't got a target down there at forward line. Bailey Fritsch is well off his form, and I think he's nearly ready for a job at Casey. Bring in another one that's more hungry to come and play because at the moment, he's not cutting it, I don't think. He played a bit more further up the ground, which was better, bringing the ball inside 50. But the Bailey Fritsch we know is not the Bailey Fritsch that we're seeing at the moment. So I think maybe a reality check, dropping him to Casey could be on the radar. As we look at, we'll start off with Geelong. I'm not going to get too excited. I'm just going to put them as contenders. I don't think it was an excellent performance because they could have put the nail in the coffin a bit more. The other one was Melbourne. I'm not going to say 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach, but I'm going to go disappointing just because it's so hard to win at GMHBA as it is. And I thought they would have responded in a bit more and made it a bit more closer game than they had. Now, Saturday, I didn't watch a lot of the matches. I've gone back and watched the highlights because it was the start of the Outer East commentary, as some of you guys know who have been listening to this or listening to this. I commentate for Outer East Football Netball League, and the matches of the round this week were, first of all, on the Saturday, I did Hillsville and who did I do? Why have I gone blank? Well, Hillsville and Upway Tacoma, sorry. Upway Tacoma? Why have I... Yeah, no, Hillsville and Upway Tacoma, and it was Hillsville got the job done there. And then I had Mount Evelyn and Wandon yesterday. As we're recording this on Monday, I had Mount Evelyn and Wandon for the Professionals Cup on Sunday, and it was Wandon who got the job done there, and a dominant display, 140 plus points, had some notable names in there, former AFL players. Joel Garner won the best on ground medal, kicked 4 goals and had 25 to 30 touches, and another ex-AFL player, Aaron Mullett, North Melbourne and Carlton, he kicked 9 goals 4, so it was a dominant display by Wandon. But the first game on Saturday that we saw was Gold Coast v Adelaide, and what a game this was at People First Stadium. And Gold Coast got out the job done by 1 point, 13-13, 91, defeated Adelaide 14-6, 90. Jed Walter kicked 3 for the Suns. King Long and Graham both kicked 2. Now, the 3 tolls for the Crows kicked 12 between them. So, Silverthorpe kicked 5, Walker kicked 4, and Fogarty kicked 3. Disposals-wise, Daniel Rioli's just looking absolute star off the half-back line for the Suns. 26 disposals at 92% efficiency, 6 marks, 6 tackles, 6 rebound 50s, and 620 metres gained. Well, Flanders also had 26 to go along with 8 marks and 7 score involvements. While the Crows, Dawson, the skipper, led the way with 31. He looks to be back into his 2023 form. 6 clearances, 6 tackles, 8 inside 50s, and 511 metres gained. Mitch Hinge is really looking good, 27 and 9 intercepts. Saligo, geez, he's playing some really good footy. 26, 17 contested, 8 clearances, 6 tackles, and 7 score involvements. Now, the question I had written down here, should the mark have been paid to Isaac Rankin? AFL has come out and already confirmed that they made the wrong decision. A mark or a free kick should have been paid to Isaac Rankin. And there's no better way to say it, but excuse me. But the umpires have robbed the Crows again. Right in front of me. The Crows were robbed. Right in front of me. One of the old-time memes, that one. And clip, sorry. But it was just a matter of fact, how can you not pay that mark? And then when the dire moments of the game, he's just fell into his back. The umpires to start this season have been absolutely appalling. They're so quick on the holding the ball, which I don't mind sometimes, but they're not paying the not 15. They're playing free kicks when they feel like it. When the dying moments are on the ground in the game they're just not paying free kicks. When people are just falling into each other's backs, they have certain free kicks for certain people. Let's say like a Nick Watson or someone like that, when he doesn't even duck his head but gets one higher, they just go, oh, play on because he's known to duck. But that's just another example. But I think the umpires have been absolutely appalling, and I don't know how do we fix it. Do we maybe turn them to full-time, as Dan Gorringe has mentioned on Dan Does Footy? Is that a possibility that we could possibly make them better? And I'm not sure, but Luke Beveridge said on AFL 360, they're confused about the holding the ball rule, him and the players. And when the players are confused and the coaches are confused, the umpires must be confused too. They don't even know what they're officiating. So it's just a whole shambles. But that should have been paid. Rankin would have went back and slot that, or at least put it through from behind, which would have tied the scores. So the Adelaide were robbed. We mentioned the big 3-5 tie between them. Thilthorpe and Andrew battled and carried on after the siren. Now, you know Mac Andrews, a friend of the show. I didn't mind it. We can't gather exactly what happened after the siren, but I don't mind if he's going to talk the talk like that. Maybe when people are saying that he had those goals kicked him, and I can understand that he probably shouldn't have been talking when he's had that many goals kicked on him, but that's just the Gold Coast Suns way. That's the way Dimmer wants him to be. He wants them to be like the Detroit Pistons, like they were arrogant, in your face. So Mac did that. Mac Andrew did that, but then what really matters is if you got to talk the talk of that, you got to walk the walk. And when the game was on the line and when it mattered, Mac Andrew came in and had that spoil on Thilthorpe. So I think that's the crucial thing. You can talk the talk and do all this, but when the game's on the line and there to be won, you've got to be there and you've got to be the person who stops it. You can't just sit there, talk the talk, but when it comes, go missing. So I can give props off to Mac Andrew for that. And it was probably just a bit of love after the game. Probably a few things said. Probably could have been avoided, but hey, it's just two big boys, I guess, showing how competitive there is. Did Mac and Thilthorpe probably overstep it a little bit? Yes, they did. But, hey, no one was hurt in the end. It carried on for a little bit, but it was nothing harm. It was broken away by the leaders. I think it was just two competitors going at it. Do we want to see that every week? No. Is it going to happen every now and then? I think so. Because it's really hard to, after you've battled for that long on the field and how long they were battling for, to just forget it straight away as the sign goes. I get it when you're in the heat of the moment. So I can understand both sides of the arguments, but that's my point of view on that's my opinion on the situation. So I was just looking at a message and I messaged someone saying Murphy Reed, God, he's good. We'll talk about him later. But then someone said most improved player right now. It's his first season. That's what I'm going to reply back real quickly. It's to he'll watch this later, Connor. It's his first season, but unless he's asking the question. But I just want to reply there because I was very confused when it came up. But back to this. Rankin was also magnificent against his former club, finishing with 10 clearances and 21 disposals. The only thing I'll question is, do we want to see Rankin getting that? David King said it. Do we want to see Rankin getting those clearances? Or was it Lee Montagna? One of them said on first crack, which I kind of agree with that. We want to see him impacting the scoreboard a bit more, or at least getting score involvements. He only got 4 score involvements, so I think that's a bit poor from Rankin's point of view. And maybe it was because Crouch didn't play, so he played a bit of that role. So when Crouch comes out, maybe they can do that. But I think Crouch should be the one getting inside and giving the hands off to Rankin. But as for the rankings, I think they both go in excellent. And so Adelaide and, Gold Coast will go on top of them just because they won. But they both go in excellent for mine. Next match was Richmond and Brisbane. And I was very surprised by Richmond here at the G. They weren't disappointing at all. They didn't get smashed. Only went down by 28 points. And they can hold their head up high because they didn't get smashed. Multiple goal kickers for the Tigers. You had Armstrong, first year is Armstrong and Layla with 2, Banks, Campbell, and Green with 2. As for the Brisbane Lions, you had Cameron and Bailey with 3, Morris, McCluggage, Will Ashcroft with 2. Disposal-wise, Hopper is really, I think, starting to respond to my needs to lift and start the year. I think he started this season off reasonably well. And it's good to see. So he had 32 to go along with 8 clearances and 7 score involvements. Taranto had 29, 1 goal, 6 clearances, and 5 tackles, while Short had 25 and 9 marks off half-back. Neil was dominant and just found the ball at will. 42 disposals, 7 clearances, and 9 score involvements. Dunkley, one of the most underrated players in the competition, if you ask me, just does his role week in, week out. Had 30 to go along with 8 clearances and 10 tackles. McCluggage had 26 with 2 goals, 6 clearances, 12 tackles. He's really starting to ramp up those tackles and 9 score involvements. So he's probably playing a bit more inside rather than on a wing now, and he's starting to get more clearances, get good tackles. It was really good to see with McCluggage. Brisbane Lions broke a 15-game losing streak to the Tigers at the MCG, which is great because they don't get time. They don't get the games at the MCG very much. So when it happens, they need to take it with both hands, and they did, which is really good to see. Richmond stayed in and put in a respectable performance in there. We mentioned Lockie Neal had a ball in the string where Hugh McCluggage, I've just mentioned before, but he's having a great start to 2025. Probably playing a bit more as an inside player now, which is really good to see. I'm really liking the look of. But Sam Layla, the number 1 draft pick, didn't he have an absolute ripper game? All you super coaches out there, apologies. I feel for you if you traded him last week. He was on my consideration to being traded to getting someone cheaper. I kept him, and I'm so lucky I did. He had 24 disposals, 2 goals, 4 goal assists, and 10 score involvements. So he was absolutely massive, showing what the type of player he can be. And wait till a couple of years' time when he goes inside the midfield, because he was drafted as a midfielder, and he's doing this as a forward. So that's so exciting to see. Will Ashcroft he just has a knack of kicking these goals out of his ass. Like, there's no other way to put it. He kicks goals out of his ass, and what a way to kick a goal. He's got another goal of the year contender already. We've already had 3 goal of the year contenders, and we're only in finishing round 4, so that's great. Saturday night, North Melbourne v Sydney at Marvel, and North Melbourne were really disappointing, going down by 65 points. Parker, Larkey, and Curtis, multiple goal kickers, kicking 2 each. For the Swans, Amadi and Haywood kicked 4. Hanley kicked 2. Disposal, Sheasel went more to half-back and had 34, going at 82% efficiency. Do we want him playing half-back? Maybe helping them back there, but I think they'd rather him delivering the ball inside forward 50. So I'm interested to see how Clarko plays around with that, because I think they want him more that centre-forward role than half-back. I know he was having a struggled start to the season, but I don't think that's the spot where they want him in the long run this season. Parker had 27 and 2 goals, 5 clearances, and 8 tackles against his former side. Daniels had 25 at 80% efficiency, but his kicking out has been appalling. David Juniak had 25 and 5 tackles. Riley Bice. Oh, Riley Bice. What a pickup he has been. Just give me 1 second. I just want to check something. Nope, never mind. I won't even bother cutting that out, by the way. I was just checking if I had another water. But, Yeah, Riley Bice, what a pickup he's been up coming across from Werribee. 26 disposals, 85% efficiency, 15 marks, 9 intercepts, 7 inside 50s, 2 goal assists, 7 scoring moments, and got to mention in my round 4 team of the week for that outstanding performance. If you haven't seen that, go and check our Instagram at @uptheguts_, and you'll find it all there. And Lloyd also had 24 to go along with 12 marks. Another step back for the Kangaroos. We mentioned that. Will Hayward was one of the Swans' best. When Will Hayward's up and about in the forward line, I think the Swans look so much better. He kicked 4 goals, 1, had 15 disposals with 80% efficiency, 6 marks, and 2 goal assists. The Swans just dominated the second half, kicking 10 goals to North's 3. And we mentioned what a pickup Riley Bice has been for the Swans from Werribee. I believe he was from Werribee. Davies Uniacke said to have hurt a bit of his left hip, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Now we look at the Swans. So they've come across the Marvels, so I'm going to have to put him in. Going to have to put him in excellent, and North's going to have to be 5M St Kilda Beach. I'm sorry, but everyone had high hopes that you might be able to knock them off at Marvel, but you've come in and put up that. I think it's just another step back, and I don't know where it is to go for Clarko and the North Melbourne Kangaroos from here, but they need to respond in a hurry and in a big way. Sunday, there's not much to talk about this game. I don't think it was a GWS dominant display. Other than Hogan kicking 9 goals, Tom Green had 37. There's not much to talk about this game, and I don't think I'll talk about this game whatsoever. So we'll move on from that. We'll just go like that. But props off to Jesse Hogan kicking 9. I was watching it from my phone, watching the stats, wanting him to get that 10, but obviously Aaron Mullet kicking 9 where I was, and Hogan had 9 there. So it was 9 goals all around. No one able to crack those double figures 10, though. Interesting to see if anyone does that this season. Next game was Port Adelaide v St Kilda at Adelaide Oval, and it was the Saints who got the job done here, being Port Adelaide 13-11, 89 to 10-12, 72. For the power, Georgiades, Lord, and Horn Francis, who looked really good, kicked 3. Higgins kicked 3 for the Saints. He underrated small forward, in my opinion. I think I mentioned him last week, but he just has a knack of kicking multiple goals every week. Owens kicked 2. Butters on his return had 39 clearances at 8 inside 50s. Horn Francis, we mentioned, was enormous. Had 28, going at 82% efficiency, 3 goals, 6 clearances, and 6 tackles. That's the Horn Francis we know, getting plenty of the ball, but also impacting the scoreboard. Bergman, I think, has been a really good, and I think he'd be in the 40, possibly be in the 40-man squad at the moment for the All-Australian. I think he's really, or if not, his name's probably been flown around. I think he's really underrated, and he's young. I know the Saints are going to be interested in being a Bayside boy. The Saints are going to be throwing money at him, and we know the war chest they have, and they'd be stupid not to. He's an absolute, a rising star. He'd only be about, let me just check that. You'd only be about 23, I'd say. Miles Bergman. Let's have a look at that. There you go, spot on, 23. So, he's just an absolute rising star in the competition, I think. 26 at 81% efficiency, 9 marks, 12 intercepts, and 677 metres gained. McRae just keeps on going with 28, 15 contested, 9 clearances, 2 goal assists, and 9 scoring moments. Sinclair at 25, a goal, 8 intercepts. Wangani Malira, pay the man whatever he wants, if you ask me. He's an absolute star. I've been saying that for the past 2 years. Had 25, a goal, 10 intercepts, 8 rebound 50s, and 510 metres gained. But the Saints are just looking a little bit more exciting than we would have thought. And how's it going to look when Max Kingsford comes into that? Because they still got players to come back. So I think the Saints have shocked some people. And for that performance, going over to the Adelaide Oval and beating Port Adelaide, I'm going to have to put it in excellent. And Port, I'm going to have to go disappointing. It's probably a tough call because they've only gone down by, we will go here. They've only gone down by 17 points, but you can't be losing too many at home at Adelaide Oval, so they'll want to respond big, and they've got the big game against the Hawks at the Gather round on the Saturday night, or the Friday. Let me just check that, but it's the Ken Hinkley and Ginnivan. The AFL knew exactly what they were doing, put them on Gather round. It's so it's the Sunday. It's the closer to. It's the closer to Gather round, so that will be very, very interesting. As we move down here. Yeah, so disappointing. And last game of the round, and what a belter this game was as well. Fremantle v Western Bulldogs at Optus. Fremantle got the job done by just the 16 points, 15-7-97, defeated 12-9-81. Multiple goal kickers. We had Tracy and Frederick with 3, and Bolton looked really good. His best game for Freo, and just his short stint there so far, kicked 2. Darcy's looking phenomenal, and I think he's coming on. Everyone knew how good of a player he could have been, but I think he's coming on quicker than everyone possibly expected. He kicked 5. Sanders kicked 2. Norton, West, O'Donnell, Harms, and McNeil, single goal kickers. Sarong had another brilliant game. 38 disposals, 24 contested, 15 clearances, 7 tackles, 8 inside 50s, 2 goal assists, 9 score involvements, and 556 metres gained. That is a huge game, one of the better games you will see this year, in my opinion. Brayshaw at 29 as well, with a goal and 9 tackles. Clark at 26 and 10 rebound 50s, 644 metres game. Luke Ryan was back to the Luke Ryan we know, 26, going at 88% efficiency, 7 intercepts, 10 rebound 50s, and 730 metres gain. Again, props to the people if you held on to him, the Supercoach, because I thought about getting rid of him, but I kept him and he paid me back. Liberatore had 30 to go with 6 clearances. Dale, 26 at 92% efficiency. Kennedy had 26, 9 clearances, 8 inside 50s and 2 goal assists. And I think he's proven to be such a good pickup for the Western Bulldogs. And geez, couldn't Carlton use him right now, but he's been such a good pickup for the Western Bulldogs, especially in the absence of Chalor and Bontempelli. He's getting more time as a permanent on-baller. Like, I expect him to still be a permanent on-baller when they're back, don't get me wrong, but he's probably spending more time in there than he will when they're back. It's given. It's just a given. But he's been such a great pickup. And I think Western Bulldogs have performed exceptionally well with the likes of people that they have out and the calorie they have out there. So Murphy Reid is just an absolute superstar in my opinion. I think he's my favorite. He's my favorite out of the first-year players as we speak. He kicked the game winner with style just 30 seconds before that. Won a 2-on-1. Absolutely did beautifully. I can't remember which Bulldog it was, but they were laying it Shepherd. I think it might have even been Bailey Dale or someone like that. They were laying a Shepherd. One of the Bulldogs players was going to pick it up. He's got around that Shepherd, got in, laid the bump and knocked it over the line, then went back and knocked him to let him know, hey, you've just stuffed that one. Then went back and gave it a little bit to whoever was putting the Shepherd on because they know that was a critical moment that they've lost. And the fight that he had in that scenario with a minute to go to show how much he really wanted to win this game was so good to see. And then he goes and gets the handball off the clearance and finishes it off with the banana dribble, which is just absolute class. Shows what a superstar this kid is going to be. And he's drafted as a midfielder who can go forward. So just wait till a few more years when he goes into the midfield. It's just exciting times to see, but he's so damaging around the forward line. I just want to have a look at some of his stats if we get it up. Yeah, sorry. He only had the 16 disposals, but kicked the 1 goal. Had 2 goal assists as well. So he went in and had a clearance, but it's just the way what he does with the ball and his smartness around it and his eagerness to keep going, I think is so good. I'm so excited. He at the moment is my favourite from this year's draft class. And we have a look. Critical goal blow to the Dockers, however, though, because with Luke Jackson going down to what seems to be a hamstring injury, was subbed out. They played Sean Darcy through the waffle, but they probably would have liked to play him one more game just to be careful. They probably wouldn't have wanted to take him over to Gavin Round, but by the looks of it, now they'll have no choice. So they'll go over there and have a look. They'll have to take him over, but that's just such a good blow, big blow, because Jackson, not only is his ruck work beautiful, his tap work is second to none, phenomenal, one of the best in competition. But his work around the ground is what's so crucial, and he's consistently hitting the scoreboard. So that's going to be a big blow to them. It was always going to be a big decision and how they were going to fit him in once Sean Darcy was fit anyway. But it's going to be one to look. Corey Wagner has also been really good these last couple of weeks in defence. He's gone down with a calf awareness, so we don't know about that. But Nathan O'Driscoll, the one who's really come on in the absence of Hayden Young and gone in and taken that midfield role, and it's been phenomenal. It's gone down with a ankle, so that's really it's really disappointing for Nathan O'Driscoll because I really like the look of him so far. Caleb Theron was superb again. And Vandermeer was also subbed out with knee soreness. He's another one who started the year really well, so it's disappointing there. But I don't know why I didn't put Brisbane and Richmond on there yet, but we'll do that now. So Brisbane, we'll just have to go excellent, and Richmond were decent. Bulldogs. Decent. Not quite contenders, but decent. And Freo, contenders, not quite excellent. So there's my round 4 review. So let's quickly go over the rankings I have. In the excellent column, I have Gold Coast, Adelaide, Sydney, GWS, St Kilda, Brisbane. In the contenders column, I got Fremantle and Geelong. In the decent column, I've got Collingwood, Western Bulldogs, and Richmond. Disappointing column, I've got Melbourne and Port Adelaide. The 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach column, I got Carlton, North, and West Coast Eagles. It will be below us on the screen too. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'll put it below here so you can see the visual. But if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, that is the rankings we have. Now let's have a quick look at the super coaches. We have a look around how everyone went. And it was myself, actually, who scored the highest in the league, 2,101, and I got the win over Brees Sinclair. So we have a look here. Rankings, Riley's Wizards was defeated by Connor's dad kisser. Myself defeated Brees Sinclair. Dylan's Churches of Parish went down to Will's Hoctor. Chris's Ginnivan and Tonic defeated Aiden's Mac Zeret. Jamie's Bailey Sniff defeated Mavericks Mavs team. Joel's Pint of Guinea was defeated by Luke's Newcomb. Zach's In It to Win It defeated Paul's Dallas Domination. Now let's have a look at the rankings. No, leagues. I'll read out we'll just go through it all. Top of the leaderboard is Connor's dad kisser. Second, we got Luke with Newcomb 23. Third, Jamie's Bailey Sniff. Fourth, Zach's In It to Win It. Fifth, myself. Sixth, Riley's Wizard. Seventh, Chris's Ginnivan and Tonic. Eighth, Dylan's Churches of Parish. Ninth, Will's Hoctor. 10th, Mavericks Mavs team. 11th, Joel's Pine of Guinea. 12th, Aiden's Mac Zeret. 13th, Brees Sinclair. And 14th, Dallas Domination. Now we'll go over to have a look at the tipping and I won't read out what everyone got, but I'll just read out the leaderboard as we see, and we'll see if anyone's jumped up place, gone down places, etc., etc. I've gone up one spot. In the first position, Corey keeps his place. Second place, Will has gone up a spot to second place. Glenn, my dad, has gone up a spot to third place, taking over my mum's spot in fourth place. Chris has gone down to fifth. Zach's gone down to sixth. Aiden Miller's gone up to the seventh spot. Hodgie's made his way to eighth. Dulla's made his way to ninth. J. Hawks fan has fell down to 10th. Elaine has gone, made her way up to 11th. Tommy Sins has made his way down to 12th. Myself has gone from 14th to 13th. Logan's made his way up to 14th. Big Pistol, Liam Drew's fell to 15th. Basti stayed at 16th, and Connor is still at 17th. Now we'll have a quick look at round 5, but I'm considering doing a preview show just for this week. I've got a little bit more time on my hands, so let me know what you think of that, if you want me to do that. But just quickly, started off Gavin round. Thursday night, we got Adelaide v Geelong. I'm going to be going the Crows at home with that one. Friday night, Collingwood Sydney, going to be backing my boys in the Pies. North, and that's at Adelaide Oval. Saturday, 12:35, North Melbourne v Gold Coast at Barossa Park. Going to go the Suns. 1:20, it's Carlton v West Coast at Adelaide Oval. Going the Blues to finally get on the board and get their first win for the season. 4:15 is Bulldogs and Brisbane at Norwood Oval. I'm going to go to Lions in that one. The standalone night game, 7:35, Melbourne v Essendon at Adelaide Oval. This might shock you. I'm going to go the Bombers. I'm going to go the Bombers in a different... I would say an upset, but the way Melbourne are going right now, it wouldn't really be an upset. Richmond, Sunday, 12:35, Richmond v Fremantle at Barroso Park. Going to go the Dockers. 3:20 p.m, St Kilda v GWS at Norwood Oval. Going to go the Giants. And to round it off, geez, what a game. This one's going to mean a lot. Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide v the Hawks. I'm going to go with the Hawks to get one back on them, to respond to Ken Hinkley after his sledge guinea on the way out. But that's going to about wrap up episode 144 of this week, guys. Let me know. I'll put a poll out if you want to see a preview episode. Just quickly, it won't go for long. It'll maybe be a 10 to 20 minute one where I just quickly go over each game, what I think will happen, what each team needs to happen, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to see that happen consistently weekly, let me know that as well. I'll try and get that sorted for you. But definitely can possibly get one this week, so get involved in that poll. But thank you guys for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit to like and comment on this video. Turn the notification bell on so you don't miss when we upload, and hit the subscribe button. If you listen to this via Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video. Turn the notification bell, hit the follow button, and most importantly, guys, please leave a 5-star rating if you're enjoying the show. That's what helps, gets the show out there and brings in more listeners, which then allows me to consistently bring in more content for you guys. So I would really appreciate it, guys. And until next time, guys, I'll see you guys then.